Good morning, Zandria. Nice to have you with us. So we have 6 people online, which is absolutely fabulous. So glad to have you with us. And I am going to begin to share my screen. So we can really get going here. Okay. Welcome everyone on this 31st day of July 2021. I don't know about you, but this year has just been flying by. I can't believe it's already Luhnasadh or Lammas. And we're here to celebrate this time of great harvest. It is a beautiful, beautiful time when the earth is so abundant, and we're here to honor her. This is a ritual and ceremony that comes to you from Wise Transformation. Judy Keating and myself have been partnering this company for the last several years. And our mission is to assist in helping each one of us get in good contact with our essence and our higher power, however we call that, and to bring forward our emerging selves, because each of us is emerging each day into more and more of what we're going to become. And the question then becomes, what is it that you want to emerge to? Who do you want to be as you continue on this voyage of spiritual connection? So that's what Wise Transformation is all about. And we're so honored to have you with us today. I'm going to apologize for my background. I'm in the middle of a move, and you will see boxes and empty walls and whatever, but it was important for me to be here with you today. Okay, so we're going to call in sacred space, and I'll kick that off. And if anyone would like to add to that, by all means, please do. So with feet on the ground, and dropping a grounding cord into beautiful Mother Earth in her deep abundance at this time of year. All the beauty of what she yields to us. Hopefully that will last us well into another season, perhaps into the next growing season. Thank you, Earth, for all the gifts that you give. Excuse me. Calling in the energy of water and love and play, compassion, kindness, all of the things that the world is in such need of at this moment. Let's honor water, the emotional realm, and call in love and joy, play, ebb and flow, all the gifts of water. Calling in the energy of air and our intentions for being here this day to create within you a pathway to your own abundance. Calling in the energy of fire, passion, the excitement of reaping what you have sown, of seeing the magic that you have created from the time you planted the seeds all the way through this magnificent harvest. Thank you, Spirit. Always present, always having our back, knowing that what is given to us is given for us and not to us in a negative sense. It is always for us that we reap the gifts of Spirit. We call upon the ancestors who have begun these traditions and passed them down generation to generation so that we might have tradition, custom, ritual to carry on through the generations. And it is with gratitude that we thank them for the sacrifices they made so that we might be here today. And if anyone has any energy or someone or something they'd like to call in, please do so now. Okay. So for those of you who are new to our community events, you say, and so it is.
And so it is.
And we are celebrating a cross-quarter day today. Now, what does that mean? Most of us are very familiar with the solstices, the winter solstice, the summer solstice, and the equinoxes in spring and in autumn. So we're really familiar with that. But every 6 weeks from one of those points, there is a cross-quarter day. What we know about a cross-quarter day is that at the 6-week mark, let's take the summer solstice, which we recently left behind. So 6 weeks from the summer solstice is Luhnasadh. That is the turning point when summer turns towards autumn. And then we await the autumnal equinox. So there's always something going on the wheel of the year. It's never stagnant. So if sometimes you feel like you can't get your bearings and things are always moving, that's why we're always moving on to the next point, whether it's a solstice, an equinox, or a cross-quarter day. So it just kind of helps us to be more connected with the mother and to understand that she is always bringing change to us so that we can grow and change along with her. So here we are. I actually went online to make sure that I was pronouncing Luhnasadh, and there are several different pronunciations. So Luhnasadh is the one I have chosen, and it's also called Lammas for those of you who would like to have an easier way to recognize this cross-quarter day. So the further north we go, and of course, these traditions came out of the Northern Europe. This is the first harvest that they're experiencing. For those of us who live a little further south, this is our second harvest. And in the Southern Hemisphere, it's an entirely upside down experience. So Lammas is a celebration of the first grain harvest. And it centers around giving thanks for all of the abundance that we have. And 6 weeks from now, it'll be the autumnal equinox, the second harvest. So what I find interesting is that this first harvest is about grain. The second one is about fruit. And the third one at Samhain is the final harvest of nuts and berries. So that's why there are 3 traditional experiences of harvest. Lammas is derived from loaf mass and is indicative of how central and honored is the first grain and the first loaf of the harvesting cycle. So one of the things I would encourage you to do today or sometime over the weekend is to experience bread in whatever grain form is appropriate to you. Buy yourself or make, Lisa, a magnificent loaf of bread, maybe something you might never think of to buy for yourself. And if it has fruits and nuts in it, all the better. to experience, because in the South, we are in the second harvest. So this is a celebration of the Celtic sun king and god of light, Lugh. This is his sacred month in which he honors his mother. So we are honoring our mother, our sweet Mother Earth, and her amazing gifts, the abundance that we often take for granted. And I do encourage you to buy local if you can, especially when it comes to fruits and vegetables and all the amazing products that are being sold locally now at this time of year. It's such a beautiful way to honor our Mother Earth. Any questions, any thoughts, anything anybody wants to share? Okay, on we go. So the grain mother was Demeter. That's the Greek goddess of grain. And I so love that, even though it's different from my belief, the fact that there are so many archetypes representative of the different things in our lives, that we always have something to honor. We always have something to be grateful for. And I guess for me, it's a daily task to try to make some kind of a connection of gratitude to an entity, whether it's Mother Earth or the rain falling from the sky, or the human beings that provide everything I need in my life. Always working to be in gratitude. And it's difficult for me to not be happy when I am in gratitude. So I'm sure most of you experience the same thing. It's just such a great reminder to take some time every day, no matter how busy we are, to honor an entity or an individual or a gift that is given to us. So this is a bit of the story of Demeter and Persephone. Demeter as corn mother represents the ripe corn of this year's harvest, and her daughter Persephone represents the grain, the seed which drops back deep into the dark earth, hidden throughout the winter, and reappears in the spring as new growth. This is the deep core meaning of Lammas and comes in different guises. The fullness and fulfillment of the present harvest already holds at its very heart the seed of all future harvest. That's interesting to think about. You know, even when we reap what we have sown, we're always leaving some seeds behind that will support us in the next growing season. So it's important to take a moment as we reap the abundance for everything that we have worked on in this growing season. Perhaps you planted your seeds at Imbolc and nurtured them through the spring equinox, through Beltane, through the summer solstice. And now it's time to really enjoy everything that you worked so hard to bring in. And know it's kind of like Hansel and Gretel leaving their little breadcrumbs behind so they could find the way back. So I think that's a wonderful way to say, yes, we're reaping this and we're going on to greater and greater things. And we don't really want to forget where we came from. Because those seeds brought us to greaterness, and they may be something you want to use later in your process. So I'm going to be quiet now because I want you all to work with this concept of what you have labored to bring forth. And because we honor musicians whose music is on the internet, and we are not responsible for paying for it. We do these journal exercises in silence to honor them as well. So, what have you been laboring to bring forth? What did you plant in Imbolc or at spring equinox that you worked really hard to process, to bring forward, that is either ready to be ready for you to reap or will be soon? And then, what is that harvest? What are you bringing in? What are the gifts for all the work that you've done? So take a few minutes. Thank you, Steve. I didn't realize I was muted. So, what is it that you have done, that you have labored to create, that you are either now harvesting or will soon be harvesting? We really like to hear from you. It's such a support to the community when you share, because you never know when your words are going to really strike resonance with someone and is going to make a difference to them and help them emerge and harvest their own um, labor of love, if you will. Catherine, please.
I had ordered bulbs early in the year and managed to get them planted and have thoroughly enjoyed what has come about. Some of them didn't. I had some irises, uh, and I just finished gladiola, and they were all hanging all over the place, and I decided to cut them down and bring them inside. So I enjoyed the gladiola both outside and inside. And because I love the outside, I always enjoyed gardening. I'm at this point limited to what I can do. So I was happy that I got these in and and now enjoyed the beauty of the gladiola, the irises. Someone had given me a rose plant a few years ago and it's blooming again. So I'm enjoying that outside. Uh, I just enjoy the beauty of nature and what, and then my gardenias bloomed excessively this year. And just going out to, they're out by my mailbox. So going out to my mailbox on a daily basis, the perfume was enhancing. That's all I can say. So the beauty of nature, and my trumpets are in a full bloom, which they normally don't bloom until September. So I'm like,
Wow.
okay, I'll enjoy them now and see what comes in September. Who knows?
Lovely.
But anyway, I enjoy the beauty of flowers. I never had trouble. I was never able to plant vegetables successfully. It was never something I could do on that, but I have always enjoyed the flowers that seem to come my way.
Thank you, Catherine. I love the literal planting and harvesting that you have done. So thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? Thank you, Lisa.
I guess mine is sort of literal as well. I have been in my home for a little bit more than a year now, and I've spent a good part of this year working on the landscaping. It had been left very natural, which is delightful, and a portion of it I'm going to keep that way. But there were some things that had gotten out of control and overgrown, and ivy was growing on the trees. So I methodically was clearing out ivy that wasn't supposed to be where it was and off of the trees and sort of sanctifying the grounds. And I did put in a little garden, and I am getting some stuff out of that. And I've put in some flowers and I've been enjoying those. But the literal harvest that I've gotten this year is chanterelle mushrooms I've been picking. And this year they've been abundant because of the rain. And I think because I left all of the oak leaves to mulch like they're supposed to, I think that only further enhanced the harvest that I am getting now. So I'm just feeling a lot of gratitude about where I have chosen to live and where I've been invited to live, I guess, and taking a great deal of enjoyment in the care of this little piece of earth that I have. And I have been greatly rewarded in a lot of ways, but I've picked and cooked and enjoyed some chanterelles very recently, and it definitely has my mind is very present to the harvest, the first harvest or second harvest that we're having now.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thanks so much. Anyone else? Okay. I know for me, it's been a question of creating the appropriate environment for myself and my husband as we move into these later years and things change. And so plans that we might have had to have been altered. And so I am now reaping the abundance of what those changes will bring and finding joy in every day. So I'm grateful to be emerging as a new version of myself. I have often joked that I was my husband's fourth wife, and actually now I think I'm going to be the fifth because I have changed so much through the years that I keep becoming someone different. So Angelina has said she doesn't have a microphone today, but she's harvesting a deeper knowledge of myself and my shadows as I follow an online course about becoming a new earth priestess. That's great, Angelina. Thank you so much
wonderful.
for sharing that. That's beautiful. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so we'll go back. If we can get back where we were. All right. Oh, we have one more chat. Let's see what that is. Oh, Angelina adds, thank you. She's still struggling, but getting there. Oh, keep on keeping on, Angelina. Great work. All right. So once I get her, yeah. So here's some sweet traditions that come to us from the Celts. And, we talked about the bread, the, sustenance of life, if you will. And the Celts, the ancient Celts did a lot of work. They made special breads from the very first sheaf of wheat that they cut. And so that was a huge tradition. Well, the last cut, they would create a corn doll. So this idea of celebrating the beginning and the end, I think is important for us as a tradition through everything we do. We get very excited when we start a new project, when we have a new theme, when we find a new version of ourselves. The importance of honoring and celebrating that all the way through to the end is something that I believe we don't do enough of, because sometimes we may not finish a project or we may have to leave it for a later time. But there's an importance, I believe, in blessing, sanctifying, if you will, one of our favorite words, Lisa, sanctifying wherever we end a part of the project, whether it's the end or the middle, to honor ourselves for as far as we have come with what we have done. And there may be a tendency to not do that. Oh, I should have finished that project. Oh, I should have cleaned that closet. Oh, I should have whatever. As opposed to, wow, look what I did. Look how far I got. And if it's appropriate, I will pick it up and finish it at another time. So we want to be just really gentle and kind to ourselves about how far we get in creating our own abundance. Every step matters. Every step. Okay, so this is a little prayer of gratitude, and if you'd like to close your eyes, I will be glad to read this to you. May we take this time to offer our gratitude for the food we're about to eat, and may we acknowledge all that has gone into this meal, the plants, the animals, Mother Earth, divine love, and the love of those who have taken the time to prepare this food. May we remain ever thankful, ever loving, and compassionate to those around us. May we remember those who do not get to share this moment as we are, and may we wish them good fortune and hope. It's just a beautiful, beautiful prayer to remember those who do not have the abundance that we have, and to wish them good fortune and, most important, hope. So we were talking a few minutes ago about the seeds that are left behind. And I want to talk a bit about generational seeds, because our grandmothers and our great grandmothers and our great great grandmothers carried the seeds that have come forward all the way to us. You think about that. The seeds going all the way back in the generations, coming through your great grandmother, your mother, to you, the same seeds. And what we do with those seeds, how we create with those seeds, is a gift back and a gift forward. So just something to think about, just a little seed of a thought, if you will. And I believe that makes the connection to the ancestors even stronger, because sometimes we think, oh, I didn't know that person, I never saw a picture of that person, I have no idea who they are, et cetera, et cetera. And this makes it a little more real that they have carried these seeds all the way through. They are in you. So at this time, the grain mother is ripe and full, heavily pregnant. She carries the seed of the new year's sun god within her. So we're going to jump ahead just a little bit here and get you thinking about these seeds. Are there seeds from this growing season that you want to carry with you into the next growing season? Is it something that's already formed? Or is it just an inkling of something that you're hoping to do? So take a few minutes and contemplate. And we'll be back in just a minute. Journal, if you will. Thank you, Angelina. So welcome back. Angelina has shared that she wants to continue nurturing the seeds and sprouts of deep inner knowing. That's lovely. Thank you. Who else would like to enlighten us a little bit? What are the seeds that you're carrying? Even if it's a little hint of something in the next growing season.
I'd like to share that the seeds of the truth of who I really am, my connection to others or to everything, and the oneness of all that is. I'm carrying that forward.
It's so beautiful, Zandria. Thank you very much. I connect with that as well. I've been working with the concept of interbeing, that is a gift from Thich Nhat Hanh, and that concept that everything, not just humans and animals and plants, but everything is connected, even the inanimate. Um, so yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Thank you very much. Who else? Catherine?
And I was at the Stephen Ministry meeting the other night, and we were asked to reflect on our genuine self. What does it mean? And it was an interesting process. We were asked to look at vulnerability, origin, and gift. And it was like, oh, who am I really? And who am I presenting myself to when I go to visit with somebody? Am I truly being genuine? Am I myself? And it was kind of eye-opening. So yes, and that kind of reflects on what we're doing now. That seed was planted, and now it has to be nurtured. And that's part of the next growing season in my own spirituality. And that's something I didn't talk about before, but it's always an ongoing process. We are always learning something new, being open to something that we didn't experience before, and then being grateful for what we have been given and whom we know, and the people that I have experienced, and through the priestess process, how much I have experienced and learned from that process, and being willing to open up more.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it is kind of a lifelong process, isn't it? To continue to reconnect with the genuine you. And I feel that the genuine you changes over time. And while your essence remains true, we learn more, we are able to express more. And so that genuineness expands, I believe, especially to people who are doing this kind of work, that we're able to peel back even more layers um, to the essence of who we are. It's lovely. Thank you so much, Catherine. We have a chat. Let me see what that is. This is Lynn, nurturing the seeds of of my and humanity's great awakening, looking beyond the craziness of world events and reflecting on how the great deceptions lead to huge awakening and awareness and trusting our inner wisdom and knowing. Wow. Thank you, Lynn. Yes, I love that. Looking beyond the craziness of world events. Yeah. And yes, that chaos enables us to become more aware, to awaken to what's true for us. So thank you so much, Lynn. That's beautiful. Anyone else? Okay. Get my slides moving again. Sometimes this computer doesn't want to do what I want it to do. It's been very good so far. So bear with for a minute. We'll get her going again. Yeah. There we go. So sometimes we aren't ready to leap. We aren't ready to take that step that's going to bring us to the genuineness, if you will, or the person, the emerging self that we want to be. As you look at what you've just journaled with, is there any fear that holds you back? And if there is, what is the first very small step that you can take to overcome that fear? And if you have an idea, please share.
I would say, Bonnie, that this past year, there's been a whole lot of physical problems going on. And I think they just culminated when I was told I had to have a biopsy. And I went to the Minister of Caring and asked her, our church has one of the sacraments is the sacrament of the anointing. And that's a healing process. And on Wednesday, I had that. And when I came back from church, the calmness and the peace that came in with me, within to me from that, and the people who were there praying for me gave me a sense of peace that on Friday that I was able to go and do something that I feared greatly because I've had epidurals before, but never in my neck. And that my greatest fear was that he would hit something and I would become paralyzed. And it didn't come through. So yes, I am recovering from that experience yesterday, and it just kind of left me very tired. But you have to take that, I guess, a leap of faith and go forward with, yes, I have a fear, but I don't want fear to be my guiding light. That is, fear should never be a guiding light because I don't think it enhances your life anyway. On that, it just makes you more depressed. And so this way, I looked at that fear and yes, I did something about it. And I'm happy that I did.
Awesome, Catherine. Thank you. Angelina has written in, feel the fear and do it anyway. I was in tears yesterday over a task I thought I couldn't do properly, but I pushed through, did it today, and all went quite well considering it was my first time. So brava, Angelina.
Wonderful.
Nice. Very nice. Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else? Okay. Another chat. See what we got coming up. So Angelina said that what she experienced was similar to you, Catherine.
Thank you, Angelina.
Yeah. All right. So the computer is being very funny again. Huh.
It's the weather.
Yeah, yeah. Ta-da! Okay, this is really fun. My dear friend Christy Gray, who is an incredibly wise woman and has spent a lot of time with the Celts and the Brits, she said that there's a wonderful tradition that this holiday brings of bragging and boasting. And so you take this day to celebrate something wonderful about yourself. Do you sing? Are you a good cook? Are you creative? Have you provided a lovely family container? Supported your community? So let's just take just a couple of minutes because we're coming up on the end of our session. But I would love to hear from everybody just a short brag, a boast. And this is not being braggadocious. This is honoring that, genuine piece of you. So who's willing to jump in and tell us how wonderful they are?
I would love to start. This is Joy.
Hey,
Sorry,
Joy.
my camera's not working, but I would love
Okay.
to brag that my partner and I are creating the second level of the priestess process, the alchemical high priestess, and we're starting our group up in the early fall. And we have got the structure like 95% complete. So it's going to be a matter of sharing the information versus starting from scratch. And it was a huge undertaking, but when you partner with someone, it just made the whole thing so much easier. So that's what I'm bragging about today.
Thank you. That's awesome, Joy. Yeah, fabulous. Lisa says she's a creative cook and baker, and I'm here to say that is very true, Lisa. Angelina says her brag is that she looks after her soul partner and family and always tries to give them advice regarding health and wellness. That's fabulous. Thank you.
And I would say that the comments I get back from people that I visit as part of my community, they tell other people that I'm a good person, that I'm a good listener. So I think that's very important in my life, to be able to be present and to listen to people.
Thanks, Catherine. Absolutely. And Lisa says she's learning to play the ukulele. Nice.
Wonderful.
Nice, Lisa. And Lynn said she's holding space for others, building networks and connecting others. That's lovely. Thank you, Lynn.
And I find myself close enough to being clean, clear, and current that I can sense a spaciousness. And that's kind of scary, but it's also pretty exciting.
Great. That's lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Doesn't that feel great? Just to be able to acknowledge, again, your abundance, what you have been able to bring forward. So, thank you. Anything else needing to be said? It's so funny. Okay. I love this cheer yourself on. It's darn hard work building a life you love and just living in general. It's hard work and it requires some serious stamina. Appreciate all you have done to create this life. Celebrate you, celebrate you. I'm a certified life cycle celebrant, and it's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is to celebrate and appreciate everything that you have done and that you do every single day. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the gathering of wise women, September 16th through 19th at Unicoi State Park. I know several of you are coming and we're thrilled. We've got workshops and play shops and dancing and community and fire circles and great food and wonderful camaraderie and sisterhood. There are still some spaces available. If you will go to wisetransformation.com and register, it's going to be fantastic. And such a beautiful time of the year in North Georgia. So hopefully all of you can be with us. And we have another chat, and let me see what is coming in. Oh, yeah. Angelina says, great brags and achievements, everyone. Thank you, Angelina. Sweet, sweet. Okay, so we are coming to the end of our time. It's so funny that my computer just, aha. So these are some of the websites: Goddess and the Green Man, The Seasonal Soul, and Learn Religions. They have more beautiful, wonderful information on Luhnasadh, and hope you will take advantage of that. There's some beautiful music too on YouTube for the occasion. And when we're complete, put on your favorite song and dance to the abundance in your life. We're so blessed, you know, and show your joy and appreciation through dance. Thank you all. I hope that your abundance is huge. We're so grateful at Wise Transformation that you could join us, and just want to go around and stop the share. Angelina says, thank you so much. Anybody have some closing words?
Continue to be yourself and to grow.
Sweet, 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 sweet.
I feel
Joy?
like adding a little bit more structure in my life of daily habits, which is honoring the earth in a variety of different ways, and gratitude.
Sweet. Thank you, Miss Joy.
And I've been finding that shifts and changes do not occur as I would think they should. So, so allow.
That's beautiful. Genesis says, thank you. Good to tap into spirit. You know, we appreciate you too. Thank you very much. On behalf of Judy Keating, my partner, and Wise Transformation, thank you so much. We hope to see you really soon, and bless this day and bless you.
Thank you.